Hi everybody. Make yourself comfortable either on the floor, or if you're not comfortable on the floor, this series is fine to do just sitting in the chair. If you're on a chair, make sure you're on the edge of the chair so that you can feel your sits bones and your feet are flat on the ground and your spine is nice and long. So the purpose of this series is to just open up space and blood flow to the cranial nerves, and the purpose of that is to bring about a sense of centeredness, of being able to settle in yourself. So just close your eyes and just notice how you perceive yourself at the moment. Can you feel yourself from the inside out? Or have you got more like a bird's eye view of yourself when you think about your body? Can you sense the interior spaces? Or if you visualize the interior spaces, do you get a view from one side or the other, perhaps? So I want you to bring particular focus to the jawbone from the base of the ear, just under the base of the ear, and also the big bone at the back of the head, which is the cranial base, which is not just at the back of the head, but it's actually at the base of the skull, the occipital bone. And very, very slowly, you're going to let the jawbone have weight, and let that draw the face forward. The spine is going to stay relatively upright, and as the jawbone gathers weight and moves forward, the occipital bone has a sense of sliding upwards. And do this to the level where it feels completely at ease. And maybe you can have a sense of softening the tongue and the facial bones, all of the facial bones as well. And how does that, almost as if there's a balloon floating the occipital area up toward the sky. And then slowly let the air out of the balloon and let the occipital area have weight, and bring the head back to upright very slowly. And you're going to do that again, just softening, letting the weight of the big jawbone fall forward, and simultaneously floating sense of sliding the occipital bone, big bone at the base of the skull, your cranial base, up towards the ceiling. So there might be a sense of spaciousness in the back of the neck, and a sense of falling or weight through the jaw and the face. And then slowly bring this back up again, until there's a sense of balance of the weight of the jawbone and the occipital, balancing your head easily on the top of the spine. And then ever so slowly let one ear fill with helium, and let all the structures close to the ear be filled with helium, whilst the other side of the face drips down. I kind of imagine like those big gloops in a lava lamp, just softening down towards the other shoulder. So you're not stretching, you're really working with the image of one ear and its surrounding structures floating, whilst the other side of the face gently gloops down towards the other shoulder. And just feel, and yes, you will get some stretches going on through the neck, through sternocleidomastoid, through the trapezius, but you're not necessarily focusing on that. And then slowly, how do you write this in your body? What do you have to imagine? Do you have to imagine the underside getting lighter perhaps, and the top side getting heavier? And slowly bring the whole head back up above the neck. And then again, very simply, let the other ear get very, very light, and the structures around that ear get very light, as if they're floating towards the ceiling. And let the other side of the face become very heavy. And just let the two work together to gently draw the head over to one side. And just breathe into the sensations of the image. What do you feel? What do you notice? And when you've had enough, slowly bring the head back up onto its axis. Allowing yourself plenty of time. And just breathe into how the head and neck feels now on the top of the spine. How do you view yourself now from the inside out? And once again, just let the jawbone have weight, and let that big cranial base bone, the occiput, float upwards. And just notice in your mind's eye whether your eyes travel with you, or even though they're traveling down, do they in your mind's eye stay forward? How can you soften the eyes and the focus within the skull to move with you? And then slowly bring the head back up onto its axis. Notice the sense of balance. Now the next movement, just be careful with, it can be quite strong. You're going to gently float your chin out, like a dog that's being stroked on the underside of its muzzle. And see if you can have a sense of just lengthening the underside, and at the same time the occipital bone is getting really, really heavy. Now for some people this will be too strong. So you're going to, if you can, allow the whole head to fold backwards. And you'll feel the weight of the occipital drawing backwards. Now to get out of it, lean the body forward so that that strains away until the head can just naturally fall forward. And then roll up through the spine to bring everything back to center. And just have a breathe. And see how things feel now. And then you're going to quietly bring awareness to one side of the back of the skull. And you're just going to float that side upwards as the other jawbone gets heavy. So you're doing the same as before, but on a very gentle tilt. So a lot of the nerves come down from the brain through a little hole in the head on this angle, and is followed also by a lot of the blood supply. So you're just manually opening this area up, gently moving the tissues around this area so that there's as much freedom as possible for the nerve and blood supply coming from the brain to the body and from the heart to the brain. And when you've done each side, just rest and center. And now we're going to bring the eyes into it. You're going to turn your eyes toward the right. And you're going to slowly follow it with your head, keeping the nose straight, not tipping the head one way or the other way. And go as far to the side as you can without strain. And then slowly turn the eyes to the left. And let your eyes lead you back to the center and all the way over to the other side. Trying to keep the face as on a plane so it's not tilted. And when you get to the other side, turn the eyes first and let that bring you back to center. All the way over to the other side. And this time you're going to keep your eyes over there and come back through the face with your eyes looking the other way. And then you're going to change your eyes to the direction that you're headed in, and then move your face away from the direction of the eyes all the way to the other side. And then slowly bring yourself back to center and just have a little breathe. Then you're going to slowly let one ear be heavy again and take you up towards the ceiling with that side of the face, the other side getting heavy towards your shoulder. And then slowly bring that back up again. Feel what's going on now, what's changed. And please feel free to join us for the second of this series. You can finish the other side on your own.